up to your future like you've never seen before.
Welcome to your inspirational astrology horoscope for Thursday, July 12th, 2018. I'm astrologer Dave Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, thanks for being a part of Future Life. If you're not on Future Life, where you can watch these videos every day and much more from 11 other personalities as well, check it out now, futurelife.tv, and get your 7-day free trial, or we're on the iOS app. Also, my big July horoscope, understanding what's going on for all these eclipses coming up here. There's 2 of them here in July. This Mercury retrograde coming. Make sure that you get it now at inclusiveastrology.com. And of course, my readings are at theleoking.com for consultations. But before we take a look at all the planets, let's take a look at the Leo King's planet energy meter to understand what all the energy is for your Thursday. And I am sending you lots of good energy, and I am sending you lots of love, light, and I'm hoping that you have an awesome, amazing, and spectacular, wonderful Thursday. And it's Take Back Thursday, I know, but the energy meter today is going to be at the extreme position. And that's because, of course, it is solar eclipse time. We have a partial solar eclipse happening in Cancer today, which is a big deal because it's in exact opposition to the planet Pluto, which is in Capricorn. Ooh. Number one, you are going to feel weird. I'm just going to say it. Number one, this is a new moon, solar eclipse happening in Cancer. And one, the reason why this is a big deal is because the moon, which is the ruler of Cancer, is in the middle of this solar eclipse. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, because a solar eclipse is definitely lighting up these illuminary aspects, and it's lighting up the moon in its home sign. And what it's doing is it's bringing up a lot of subconscious, a lot of, kind of repetitive, emotional, triggers in our life and patterns, especially in opposition to Pluto. We are like feeling naked. We are exposed. We are exposed to the truth about situations that maybe we don't want to face, right? This is an opposition. And so it's very hard because Pluto in Capricorn is saying, if you can be honest with yourself, if you can dedicate yourself to your truth and make some better transformations in your life and be honest with it, then you can move forward and get on the trail where you want to go in your life. But with this opposition to all this Cancer energy and this sun and moon, I think that it's highlighting a lot of our emotional, triggers to kind of uncomfortable positions in which maybe we're afraid to face some truths. Maybe we're not comfortable with doing certain things. There are things coming up in our life that there is kind of I don't want to say no way out, but it's like no matter how hard you try to make it more comfortable about something that, the way that you want things in your life, you got to also remember Pluto rules our desires and our wants in a much more subconscious, higher kind of octave. There comes this point to where it's like, gosh, I want things to be a certain way, but the universe is kind of forcing me to find comfort in this new direction, in this new place. This is also while Mars is retrograding on the South Node. Jupiter has now come direct in Scorpio. We've spent a lot of time, especially since March, as Jupiter was retrograde, really kind of revealing a lot of our truth and who we are, exploring doorways of, exploring where the boundaries to our life can be. Is that good for me? Maybe that's not, and especially with Mars retrograde in Aquarius, there's kind of a shock treatment. Like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't go down that road. Or maybe this is an old pattern of mine. Or, maybe this is good for me and it is sparking my interest and this is positive for me and I realize this is a good place for me. So this eclipse really is the beginning. It's the beginning of change. And it's the beginning of a whole new way to look at your whole life. Because this is a very unique one to have an exact opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. And especially since Pluto entered into Capricorn in 2008, we did start to have the eclipses in 2009 and so forth that were kind of in these zones. So really it's interesting halfway through the transit of Pluto, right? Here we are. And we're a little over halfway, but here we are now really starting to see this massive life change again in our life, a complete transformation of our emotional, spiritual selves, of getting back on track in life, redoing our identities, redoing our boundaries of what's good for us, what's not, crossing into thresholds of our truth that are uncomfortable, and finding comfort by taking on the uncomfort, which I think is a kind of unique aspect to think about. We've also had, remember, a lot of planets that have been retrograde. And the 2 planets that are direct, that are besides Mercury and Jupiter are Venus and Uranus, which happen to be in an exact trine during this solar eclipse, which is definitely all about, the lifestyle changes we need to make to be better, to find a higher quality of life. The universe is kind of having us, without us realizing in our discomfort, realize that maybe there is a better place to be. And even though it might not look that way to our own minds, to our own self, to our own ego, the truth is there's a higher quality place there by trying a little bit something different, trying something new, trying a whole entire new facet of your day-to-day life. And I think it's difficult because I think inside of us, we want that, but are we willing to put through the fear of crossing into a new world, of crossing into a new way our life is going to look physically, the new way our life is going to look emotionally, and the new ways that we're going to have to confront deep fears, especially uncomfortably in our life. And they could be very minor things that we are over-dramatizing, where we might not have all the understandings of it. But at the end of the day, I think this is a big solar eclipse about maturity, about trusting the universe. With the trine to Neptune in the solar eclipse, and actually it is trining Jupiter, not fully, but there is this grand trine still in effect. And I think a lot of it is realizing, even though it's not maybe comfortable, the universe has our back. We're getting signs that it's going to be okay. We need to trust in those. And that if we walk through doors of facing fear, we get into the opportunities to receive the things in life that we want. So facing fear is definitely a huge aspect of this eclipse. And then on top of it with Saturn and Capricorn, following a place of integrity. As Venus is going to start its trine to Saturn, we've got this grand trine in Earth starting to form. It's really the master, because it is, if you look at the whole entire zodiac, the most interesting thing to me during this eclipse period is Saturn is in its home sign and the moon in its home sign. And of course they're in a slight opposition, but the most interesting part to me is these are the only two planets at home. And the moon is not a planet, the moon is an illuminary. So, there is this kind of battle of maturing through dealing with our emotions, but also at the same time, yes, we've got to face fear and we've got to get on our trail and we've got to make tough choices that are true. But, we have also at the same time got to be easy on ourselves about it and find ways to comfort ourselves and make ourselves feel good, even though it is scary, even though we know it is necessary. But we have to be able to find that necessary action while at the same time learning to feel comfortable and where we're going, how it's going, and learning to trust the universe right now. Card of the day is the Justice card reverse. So when we get this card, it's interesting to see for this solar eclipse, things that have been really out of balance are going to try and find a new way to restore balance in our life. But at the same time, I feel the Justice card, a lot of people, of course, associate this with the law, and a lot of people associate this card with what is righteous and so forth. I think a lot of this is, in my opinion, the way that I am interpreting this is, one, at the end of the day, don't judge yourself about your fears. Don't judge yourself about, the difficult aspects that you have to face in your fear. I think if we throw ourselves into some sort of, judgment against ourselves or judgment of others as the cause to our effects of what we're going through in our life, we can really go downhill fast and really allow these fears and these changes and these truths to kind of not get their full potential out and try and put the blame or try and put, the effect of your own stuff you're going through and throw it out on somebody else or throw it out unfairly on the universe or God or something else that's really unfair. So the true unfairness, I think, is if you're not going to own your own energy right now and be honest that there's a new aligning that's going to be uncomfortable in the universe that you're going to have to go through right now, but it's okay on the other side and you need to trust in that. But if you try and throw out and try and control things and throw it out in a way that, no, you know better, or they're the cause of my discord, and this is the reason why it has to change in such a bad way, when you're not looking at kind of the higher picture or really weighing out all of things on a deeper level, then I think it can be very difficult to get through this period in your life right now. Thanks so much for all your support. I truly appreciate it. And of course, if you want to get these horoscopes every day, go to futurelife.tv or the iOS app, Future Life, and try the 7-day free trial. Thanks so much for all your support. I will see you tomorrow.
Future Life. Wake up to your future like you've never seen before.